Remember the superintendent who was attacked by a father because the father at the graduation did not want his white daughter to shake the hand of the black superintendent. Well, now the superintendent had spoken out, and the irony is, well, you'll see. Let me remind you of the incident. Here it is.
Excuse me.
That's my
Where's Brendan?
Man, you better get up off me, man.
Where's Brendan?
Get away from me, bro.
No. Hey,
Go.
You need to get, hey, get off. You gotta go. Out right now. I don't care. Get off.
That way, Michael. No. Where's Brendan? Whose dad is that?
Brendan's.
Okay. Who's up?
Put up the picture for mass. The superintendent is to be applauded for his restraint. The individual who attacked him should have received a two-piece special, but he did not. The superintendent allowed for the officers to get involved and write him a citation, write the attacker a citation. Per the Independent and Daily Mail, Mr. Rainey Briggs is the black Wisconsin superintendent who was physically assaulted by a white dad named Matthew Eddy. This was at Baraboo High School at their graduation. So the white dad wanted to prevent the black superintendent from shaking his daughter's hand. Now there's conversation, okay? He's speaking out about his experience. The viral video of the incident shows Mr. Eddy, the dad, barge on the stage at the May 31st graduation as his daughter was shaking hands with school officials. When she approached Mr. Briggs, the superintendent, the father grabbed the superintendent by his arm and dragged him away from his daughter. So Briggs, who spoke with the Daily Mail, says he doesn't know whether Mr. Eddy was racially motivated when targeting him at last month's graduation. The optics don't look good, Briggs told the outlet. The optics are what people around the world have gotten to see. And it's caused them to formulate in their minds what was behind this situation. But ultimately, Mr. Eddy is the only one who could tell you whether it was racial or not. It's a predominantly white school district, Briggs continued. Do I think it's consisting of students of color feeling like they don't belong here? I think there are some pockets of that, possibly. Baraboo High School previously made national news in 2018 when a photo emerged depicting several current and former students doing the Nazi salute. Remember that? Briggs said he heard from Mr. Eddy's lawyer on Monday evening, but has yet to hear from Eddy himself. The superintendent has filed a restraining order against Eddy, who now faces one charge of disorderly conduct, nothing else, not assault, not battery, just disorderly conduct. Quote, the outreach was really to indicate that he, Eddy, understands his mishap in terms of what he did and what he's caused. Briggs told the Daily Mail he's remorseful. He continued, I took that as some form of apology, but that's not something I think at this time amounts to a solid apology from my perspective. While this dad who attacked him has not directly apologized for the incident, he told police after the graduation, he felt sorry for the impact his actions had on his daughter. And I actually feel sorry for your daughter as well because you're her dad. Briggs said his heart goes out to Eddy's daughter and the other graduating students. Quote, this is a moment in time for them that they'll never get back the way they had hoped for this to go, the superintendent told the Daily Mail. And if you remember, if you watch that video again, you will clearly see the daughter's face. I mean, it looked as if her spirit just left her body when her dad came up there and did that. Just totally embarrassing her, taking away a precious moment. Now, put up the interrogation photo. So it is still not entirely clear why this guy decided to jump on the stage and physically assault the superintendent. But new police video obtained by local outlet WISN 12 earlier this week shows that he falsely stated the superintendent touched him first. A claim that video footage of the graduation disproves per the footage. So Mr. Eddie told Baraboo police officer Brandon Meyer just minutes after the incident, quote, "I didn't touch him until he touched me," end quote. Quote, "I did not want him to be able to shake her blank hand because he does not deserve it from her," Eddie tells Meyer. Eddie does not mention Briggs' race according to the video. "I'm not aware of any allegations of Dr. Briggs doing anything to your daughter specifically," a district administrator who said on the conversation with Eddie and Meyer said in the video. Quote, "No, it wasn't him specifically," Eddie replies. Rather, he reveals that he was upset over what he perceived as a slight to his daughter during a previous meeting with district officials. Sir, but you decided to let her shake every other district official's hand. Do you understand how crazy this sounds? You only attacked the black male. There's more. He did not specify the incident which led to the meeting, but said the subject of the meeting was potential expulsion. Quote, "He rolled his eyes when I brought up the fact the same thing happened to her and it pissed me off," Eddie recalled in the video, referring to Briggs. "She was expelled for doing the same thing that was done to her and nothing was done to the previous people," he said without elaborating on the incident. Sir, you are a child. You are a child. The best thing your daughter can do is to get in college, get the hell away from you. Sir, you need to grow up. If you felt that strongly about not having your daughter shake the superintendent's hand, you could have easily not gone to the graduation yourself. Or if your daughter felt the same way, she's walking into adulthood, give her the choice, give her the option. But no, sir, your narcissism could not stand it. This was about you, sir. Had nothing to do with your daughter, okay? If it was about your daughter, you provide the love, care, support, and respect outside of a stage. You did that stage mess because you are wholly incapable of providing the support and love off the stage. Deal with it. All right. Yasmin, thoughts?
Yeah. My favorite part of stories like this one are the excuses that people who are obviously guilty make for themselves. Like he tried to say the superintendent pushed him first. Like, bro, you jumped up on the stage. You didn't have to be there. Right. But again, this is a case where there likely will be no accountability because none is being demanded. The superintendent deserves a proper apology, but this guy clearly doesn't think he did anything wrong. And this clearly isn't a thing that he would think twice about doing again. And what a way to live. As the superintendent pointed out, only the father can say whether or not his actions were racially motivated, but it's not a good look. But if it was, then how is that any way to live? Racist people live in such a strained state of fear for no reason. They put themselves under such unnecessary stress. They're not intelligent people, and unintelligent people feel they fear that which they don't understand, which is a lot of things. And if in their fear, they work overtime to shield themselves and their family members, apparently, from the unknown thing. And all the father said was that he was upset with the superintendent for allegedly rolling his eyes when the father tried to discuss his daughter's expulsion. But eye rolling does not merit physical violence, especially not on a public stage. And as you said, Dr. Richey, the daughter looked so embarrassed when she looked up and saw what her dad was up to. And, that must have been such a big moment for her too, especially since she was expelled at one point, that poor girl.
Yep, she worked hard. She had some hiccups along the way, but she made it. And here he comes.